Previously on Mike's Garage Shop, we have a Cub Cadet mower with a valve guide that pushed out because of heat on the cylinder. Now the question is, can we fix this and get it running? Alright, so we just got done pounding this valve guide into the head, and there was some concern about when this engine runs again, that valve guide working its way out and interfering with the valve function again. So what I have is a punch here, and I just want to see, because this is aluminum, if I go around this and peen all the way around there, that's going to push this aluminum tighter onto that valve guide to hopefully hold it in place. There, so I've peened all the way around it. Again, I don't know where I learned this trick. I don't remember who I could give it credit to. But that should squish that aluminum onto that valve guide a little bit more to make sure that doesn't fall out. Alright, well, to support this exhaust valve, while we're putting that spring back on, I'm just going to use this socket to sit on there. And that will keep that valve stem sticking up. And then I do have a valve spring compressor here. So we're going to see. This will compress the spring and then hold it there while we put those keepers back in. See how that compresses the spring. So then we can put this on top. It's a good angle to do this. I might have to take alright, let's take this other rocket to make room. Support that valve. Do we have enough room? Yeah, that seems better. Oh, we did it!
Whew. Aha! Papa, he's just all over me. She's trying to climb up my pants right now.
And you want to bang it a little bit just to make sure those keepers are set and they look good. Alright, let's put these rockers back on. Okay, so Briggs calls out these rocker pivot arms at 100 inch-pounds, which I have my 1/4 inch torque wrench here. And I got my torque cat.
Hey, Dad. Come on. You're so funny, little kitten.
We're getting started.
Alright, you're cute.
You gonna get her down, honey?
How can I do that? Papa?
Let's get this kitty cat out of here.
Yeah, Dad, you are being... Alright, as soon as I told you, you invited me everything.
Looks like they used, excuse my reach, looks like they used thread locker on these before. You can see the red on it. So what do you think, Caroline? Should we use the same thing?
If you think so.
I only have blue thread locker. We'll try it out. Okay. It's a little bit of background. Right, you want to be precise? There's 100 inch-pounds. That's sitting in there good. This one. 100 inch-pounds. You can see if there's just tons of filth in these cooling fins from probably, like we talked about earlier, these valve covers, gaskets get brittle and hard, and then they start leaking oil out, and then you get this mess. So I'm just going to clean this up a little bit before we bring it back to the machine, just to help with cooling a little bit. Alright, let's take this head gasket off. Usually these stay together in one piece pretty good. Okay. That looks pretty good. Let's grab our head. Got a new head gasket. Let's just take this locating pin, put it on that one. Get this up out of the way. It's probably blocking your view. That's okay. There. Okay, we're just gonna send these head bolts home. Not all the way with the impact, but just get them, for the most part, down there. And then we'll come back with a torque wrench. And I think Briggs calls these out for 220 inch-pounds, which in foot-pounds is about like 18 or 19. So since we ran those home most of the way, let's get our torque wrench. So I got it set at 19 inch-pounds, and I'm going to need an extension. But just don't go to, yeah, let's get an extension. Don't go all the way to your torque setting yet. And I don't know the correct pattern, you could look that up, but it's a lawnmower, not a spaceship. Okay, there's torque, click, click. Okay. All right. Excuse me while I fire up the heater. It's getting a little cold in the shop. It was nice out this morning. It's starting to cool down. Also, probably would have behooved us to take the gaskets off of the head while we had it up on the bench. But hey, it's on there now. Not too bad. You probably can't even see what I'm doing. Ah, we got it. Alright, this intake valve, or this intake gasket, might be a little trickier than the exhaust. Or maybe not. Usually these get baked on. Hokey smokes! It seems like a new one comes with some sticky glue. Probably because you stick them on both heads, and then because you got to mount these both at the same time. Let me get the other side off. Oh. Our holes are lined up. Oh, that Briggs and Stratton, way to go with the smart idea of putting glue on one side. Kind of smart. If anyone has a ratcheting 10mm wrench they want to send me, shoot me an email. I'm kidding. It's around here somewhere, I'm sure. Uh-oh. Actually, don't send me a 10mm wrench, because that's not the right size. Just kidding. Can you hear it running already? I can. Okay. Oh, what's next? Let's see. Let's not forget this. Where is it here? This is our ground for our carburetor shut off. There we go. This. Okay. Oh, it's fun. Where's that? Yeah. Oh, how in the world? What's this? Both of these over. Come on, nerd. They obviously assemble these before the engine goes onto the frame. But we are determined, aren't we? Oh, I was gonna say that the dang cord isn't long enough. Oh my goodness. That is a victory. Little victories. They all right with me. All right. Let's get these push rods in now. Remember, aluminum one is your intake, which is on top. Get it on the tappet, which we knew we'd have to back these out. Make sure. And if I remember right, it's 4 thousandths of clearance on the intake. Let's get that out of the way for now. And it's 6 thousandths for the exhaust, which we're just going to split the difference for both and do 5 thousandths for both. That's loose. And if you remember right, this is a lot of fiddling around. Good. Alright, now the exhaust push rod, which was what our original problem was. You can see this time we can push, I don't know if you can see that from the angle, we can push down that valve without hitting the valve guide, which was the original, which is why that push rod broke. Okay. All right. Cycle this over a little bit. Double check them. There's top dead center. Sounds good. That one's a little loose. You can tighten that one up a little bit more. That's better. All right, we're happy with that. All right, we got our valve cover. Remember, we put on our RTV, which is cured a long time ago, but I'm not too concerned. We gotta cut that off and make it another seal. It's pretty raised up to where we tighten this down, that's gonna compress it really well. So Why does that? That should be a 10 millimeter. Why is that 10 millimeter always loose on there? Everything is metric and then. Okay, 3/8. Go figure. There's some metric and there's some standard. Okay, I'm thinking we should go after the spark plug next. One thing I noticed on this spark plug, you can see it wasn't seated in all the way. They threaded it down that far, and then the rest of it, before it sits against these washers in a cylinder head, that's all dirty. So let me clean up these threads real quick. One thing we'll just have to be mindful for, looks like they're pretty clean, that this is seated all the way down in there when we get to that point. This heat shield's kind of in the way. Alright, let's make sure that sits all the way down. Yep, and I can see from up top that it is seated all the way down to the cylinder head, so I don't know if when he was first having problems with this lawnmower, if he just threaded that out and then just hand threaded it in. So we'll get the other side. Okay, we're on the other side. The shop's starting to get real busy. I wonder if this was the side with the spark plug hanging half in there. 'Cause it's starting to get a little rough. Yeah. So that spark plug's not all the way threaded in and it's getting really tough to turn. I think we want to, before we just try to send that home, let's try to clean that spark plug hole out. Yeah, it's about the same distance. So that the other spark plug on the other side must have been the one that lived in this one. So I do have a spark plug chaser tool that'll clean up those threads for us. Okay, you can go in. And the shop's busy now, or quiet. Not much room to get that in there, because I need to spin it with this socket. Although I just quick pop this heat shield off, I think that's what we got to do. It's important that we just take our time now and get it right. Oh yeah, so those threads. Ooh, are they cross-threaded? I hope we didn't do that. Ooh, it's not a good feeling. So this is like a tap pretty much. You can see these grooves are just filled up. Watch me snap this spark plug off. Okay. That is on. Oh boy, it's on. Put this heat shield back in. Wow, that was unexpected hiccup, but it's in there, and the walkers on the spark plug are on there good, tight against it. I think we're at a point now. We can make sure this thing has fuel delivery. We checked for spark last time, and we do have spark to both, even though, if you remember, we have that bad wire there. We'll look at that in a little bit, but let's see if we can get some fuel and start it. Wait! Pump the brakes! You guys remember our oil situation? Try not to get ahead of myself, but when we drained the oil out of this thing, that was disgusting. And it had this quick flow valve on here, which it was not quick at all. Let's check the oil on here. Let's see what our dipstick's at. We barely got, when we pulled the head off, we barely got any oil out of it. It looks really bad. I mean, it's quite dirty. Let's try draining this oil all the way, and we'll even change the filter on it, because I'm pretty confident we're going to get this thing to run and work, so I don't feel bad throwing an oil filter on it. I just want to see this thing run. We're going to skip some steps because of that. We don't want to do that. Okay. Twist them and pull out, I believe. Oh, it's such a hard thing to reach. Without breaking this dumb thing. There we go. Yeah, you gotta twist it and pull out. Let's let that drain. Easy valve, my buns. What a joke this thing is, guys. What a joke. Push it in, twist it, and then the next poor soul has to do an oil change on it. Because that is so dumb. Okay. Let's go get that filter on the other side. Let's get oil over here. You don't get oil in place. Okay, before we get too anxious, This is the fuel filter, and this fuel line looks pretty cracked up, and it's pretty stiff, which isn't bad, but there is like dirt and gunk in here, so we'll probably end up replacing this fuel line and putting a new filter in it. But I wonder if we can just dribble some gas into this, pop that off, and put a tube on there to put some gas in, just to make sure we are gonna run. So let's try that. Keep this little mini funnel with a tube. Doesn't fit really tight. If I got something better to get gas in there. Okay, I rigged up a turkey baster with a fuel line. I'll be able to shove on there and get some gas in there. Let's see if we can. That should be more than enough. See if we can start this bad boy up. We did it! Let's try to more. All right, so that's a big victory. The two known things that are still a problem is I'm not comfortable with the fuel that's in the tank, and then also we have that wire that we might have to make up a new wire. So I just don't feel comfortable leaving that alone, potentially if we go and sell this thing too. So I think this gas tank comes off quite easily, just bolts on there, and then on the other side. We can run new hose. I think I have a new fuel filter sitting around. Found one. Now I feel comfortable seeing if we can take this tank off. Alright, so yeah, this did fill up with gas now. Just to confirm my suspicions that this gas is nasty, I do want to put it. Yeah, that filter's disgusting. And this gas is disgusting. So we're doing the right thing. Try to get all the crap out the bottom. What do you think? Should I burn that off in my truck?
No, Dad.
No? Was that not good, Max?
I'm not good.
No, that looks like bad gas. Rough. It does look really clean in the bottom of that, so don't feel like we need to flush that out at all.
Yeah.
But that is, I'm glad we're doing this. This is the right thing to do, so.
Yeah, Dad.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's wood. This smell right here. This smell here. And yeah. And that smell right here.
Oh,
Yeah. And then yeah.
got a roll of new fuel line.
Yes, no, Dad. Look, Dad, look at that, look at
Oh, your hands are all dirty.
yeah.
Welcome to the shop, baby. Oh, don't do that on purpose. Put that clamp back on. We're not gonna cut this end yet. Let's put this.
Black one.
Oh,
Black one.
yeah, let's mount that back in there.
Yeah.
And you're just screwing plastic on, so don't get too ambitious. Okay, I think our best route right now is to mount your fuel pump where it's supposed to go. And then we can route the fuel line from there. The nuts and bolts have been a problem with this project. So I think these are the correct ones, but if you haven't noticed, there's lots of little hands in the shop, which is an awesome thing. That's mounted in place. Let's finish routing our fuel line here. Let's go from here to there, and then we can figure out our fuel shut off and filter on the other side. These fuel lines are pretty shot. See how they're breaking down. And they're harder than a carp, as pterodactyl would say. There, clamp on down. Okay. Oh, I can see now. Still that a little longer. It's pulled kind of tight. Alright, move this way. So this is where the diamonds look like here. Where this fuel line mounts to. So I'm thinking I might want to zip tie this up here so that doesn't get close to the engine. But we can put our fuel shut off right here. It's a 90 degree fuel shot, so I set up like that. Fine. We want a small piece to go over our filter. Not too bad to that. Just have it right on the other side. Let's cut this a little shorter. Okay, these fuel filters have a, see right there is an arrow, a flow direction, so we want to make sure we get that right. And then we just tie that to left here, and I'm on the bottom of that. See, clamp on here. And cut my heels off that. Done. See, this one is round broken. I have some spare. So if you can get another one here. Put it tighter. I don't think. These lines are too tight. Want to find some more clamps. And these are very bad these. Feel it. Let's see what works. Yeah. We might have to find some different clamps. Those ones are too tight. But that's our setup. Let me get some zip ties. We can zip tie this up here or down here just so it stays away from the engine. Then we'll probably zip tie that. This one. Again, I just want to keep that fuel line away from the engine, which that'll do it. Looked like the old fuel line had some insulation on it to protect it from the engine, but let's throw some gas on here and make sure that will run on its own. If you ever have to buy new gas tanks, you know the pain of what our old government thinks is better for you, the nozzles that drip more than if you didn't have a nozzle at all. You can buy these at your like family farm and home or whatever. They're just like the traditional old nozzles. So don't get frustrated with your new gas tanks that you buy at the store with your leak-proof nozzles. Just pick up some of those and you'll be happy. Okay, I wanted to run it at full throttle and at low throttle just to make sure that carburetor is good, that there's different jets for your high idle, low idle and all that, and it looks like that carburetor is going to be fine. We'll have to take that off and clean it. So the only thing left to do now is that wire that I'm not comfortable with. We'll have to run new wire for that, and then we can check over the rest of the lawnmower. I know there's some tires that keep going flat. We can plug those if they're holes. the deck, we'll make sure the blades are good, and really, the belts are good underneath. We'll check all that. And then it's a wrap. We'll button it all back together, and either we'll keep it and use it, or we'll sell it. We'll see. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like these videos working in the shop with me, make sure you hit a like, subscribe, and it's fun hanging out with you guys. Thanks.